Okay, Kevin, are
Yeah,
we recording?
we are recording.
Everything's okay. I have some good news for you. I don't know exactly why I have this information, but I do. You're getting a Dave's Hot Chicken like in your neighborhood. The place I talked about, like it's like a chain, that makes really good hot chicken sandwiches, Nashville style. I was just online, just browsing, and like something popped up that said like Dave's Hot Chicken opening in like near Hoover or something. And I
Wow,
was like,
that's where
why
I
is that
live.
on my why is that on my radar? And then or it sounded like close to you, or maybe it was Birmingham or something. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know, but I looked it up, and yeah, it's like 10 minutes from you. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool because I've talked about it a lot, and it's good. They have like the big like wild card chicken tender where you get like one spicy one and the rest are just kind of mixed. That's
hmm
always a fun game. So
yeah,
yeah, look up Dave's Hot Chicken.
yeah. I just googled it. It says it's coming to Vestavia Hills, which is pretty close to me. It's like a little north of Hoover, where I'm at, but it's in the Birmingham area. So
I don't remember what maybe it was like Google News or something, just some like aggregate or whatever. But I thought that was weird that it recommended that. So I was like, maybe it is listening, and I've talked to you about Alabama before, and then it was like,
yeah,
so there's some connection because that's too random
there could
that
be
that would pop up.
there could be some like search engine cookie from like when us googling talking about like the eclipse. I think at one point you were looking up what the eclipse would be like for where
Yeah,
I'm at. I don't know.
there's like weird connection. But yeah, definitely try their kale slaw. It's badass. Um,
Dave's Chicken.
yeah, it's pretty good. Um, what do you want to talk about today, dude?
Let's talk about that discovery of that was last week, dark oxygen.
Oh yeah, that's a weird one. And since it is a brand new category in discovery, there's really no like understanding of how this is happening,
hmm
but it does sound alien for sure.
Yeah,
Metal nodules on the bottom of the ocean that produce oxygen without the
without light.
process of photosynthesis, without foul play. No, it's so strange, dude. I mean, it's one of those things like we think we have it figured out, and now we're like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. If we could harvest these metal nodules of I don't know what it is, if we could harvest that, I guess you could put that on like a spaceship, and you can make some fuel, and you can take that and terraform another planet. Maybe there's a lot of
Yeah.
things you could do with this idea.
Apparently, it's they're batteries essentially,
Hmm.
and I didn't know this, but if you take a battery and I guess you put it in seawater, it'll start fizzing, and that's exactly what is happening
I
with
think that's
these.
called electrolysis.
Yeah, where it
I think that's
splits
the
the
process.
splits it into hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but just
Um,
a naturally occurring phenomenon. It's pretty strange.
yeah, it's very strange. I think we need to
Um,
come up with a word though instead like like photosynthesis. We need
mhm.
something similar for this. I know they call it dark oxygen, but like it needs to be like
Yeah.
metal metal synth or something. I don't know. Dark metal synth. It makes it sound like music.
um, it sounds too musical. Photosynthesis, but it's dark.
And there's no
Um,
photons involved.
I don't know. I'm kind of too dumb for this.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of
On my list of things to talk about today, one of them said naming conventions. So maybe that's what I was referring to. The naming conventions for the future of dark oxygen. Let's just go with that.
yeah.
That's what that meant. Um, I did you ever watch The Hill on YouTube?
The Hill. Oh yeah, yeah, the news. Yeah.
Um, this girl on there, woman on there, Jessica Burbank. She was talking. I'm basically just s- doing what she said, but I
hmm
did think it was an interesting point that I've never thought of before. I guess there's a lot of people talking about Kamala Harris's laugh. I think that's for some reason part of the conversation. Um, and she was like, I don't understand why people have a problem with her laugh. She said, and like all the time we've known Trump, I don't think I've ever heard him laugh. I don't think anyone knows what Trump's laugh sounds like. And she's like, I think that's more concerning than someone who laughs a lot is someone who's never laughed once. Have you ever heard him laugh?
I don't think I have. Have you?
I can't remember one time. I thought about looking it up, but I did think about it. I was like, okay, I can definitely in my head I can hear like Barack Obama's laugh. I can hear a Joe Biden laugh. I can picture those.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe he doesn't make a noise. Maybe he just he kind of like gestures.
What if he laughs really
Emotes.
funny? That's why he doesn't laugh. I'm thinking somebody
Yeah.
tickled him once, and
Yeah.
he has a really girly laugh, and he's like I'm not doing that ever again. It scarred him, and that's the reason why he doesn't laugh.
Maybe like he's got a laugh that makes like Tucker Carlson's laughs sound normal. You know.
Yeah. Oh
Anyway,
man.
Jessica Burbank, I thought that was a solid point. I mean, I've just never even thought about it. But yeah, he's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, I think some of the stuff with like Kamala Harris, where people are trying to make it about like her race or whatever, or about her laugh, I think that's kind of stupid. Focus on the policy
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, that's the thing. We don't
We don't really
we
know.
don't know what
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like it's even going to happen because Kamala and Trump are being petty about like the debate schedule, you know?
Oh, I heard today there was something, right? Trump backed out
Well,
of the
he
ABC
agreed
one.
to the one he agreed to one on
ABC
like
September 10th
yeah, so
Yeah,
there was a September 10th one that he was supposed to do with
with
Biden,
Biden, right?
you know? And then he said I'm not going to just do that with Kamala now because she's not even well now she is the nominee because of the virtual roll call. But
Yeah, that
which
was
is
that was
such
very secretive. They
such
didn't
a
give any information as to like how many delegates vote. You know what I mean? Like they're just
yeah.
like she now has enough. It's like we just trusting that?
We are. I mean, that's how they're playing it
Yeah.
nowadays. So yeah, she is the nominee. I mean, even as the presumptive nominee, I think he should. They still both have kind of they owe it to the American people to debate. You
Yeah.
know,
I think they should do both of them. I think they should do the
I think they
ABC
should do
one
both of
and
them.
do a Fox News one a week before or sooner.
Yeah,
I mean, what we
I
had this
think
whole month of August. Why don't we have a debate during this time?
it's yeah, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, she's being stubborn. He's being stubborn. So it's possible neither one will happen. But
That would be
I don't
disappointing.
think that's fair to democracy, especially when we don't really know
Yeah.
what she stands for, like what separates her from.
I'm just assuming
Um,
it's going to be a continuation of whatever Biden's doing, but I also don't know.
yeah,
I also think Biden's presidency's kind of been ran by people below him, right? He's
yeah,
not all there.
yeah. It's it's an odd situation. Um, the here's a fun little side we can do.
Hmm.
I saw that JD Vance has officially a call sign,
He
for the
does.
Secret Service now. He's Bobcat. I was wondering if what would you make your call sign if you were like a VP or a
Wait, so you
president?
so you can come up with your own that you want the Secret Service to call you?
Yeah, Donald Trump's his mogul. I'm pretty sure that wasn't just a coincidence. I think he chose
Uh,
that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about what mine would be, and I think I want it to be like a Shredder or something.
Shredder.
I thought that'd be kind of cool.
Um, I don't know what I would want mine to be. I'd have to think about this.
I just thought
I think
I
having it.
just thought Shredder just now because I was like, damn, I didn't even think of an idea. Um, I don't know. I like Shredder. That was the secret call sign that my mom used to use with me whenever I was a kid and someone was gonna pick me up from school that I didn't necessarily know.
Yeah. Hey,
So I'd have to lean in and be like, "Hey," and they'd be like, "Your mom sent me." I'd be like, "What's the password?" They say Shredder, and then I get in the car and just yeah. I don't know.
let me ask you this. Did they have call signs? So like, do you remember that movie with Sinbad, First Kid?
First kid,
Yeah, did they
yeah,
have
yeah.
call signs for him?
I'm sure they did. I don't
I don't
remember
remember either.
it well enough. All I do remember about the movie is that the final scene when Sinbad takes a bullet for the first kid, that it's actually weirdly intense, like for a kids movie.
Yeah.
Like it's got like kind of almost like a 24 type level of like urgency. When I saw it like later in life, I was like, wow, that was something. Um, you know, what's a good segue from that?
Something Sinbad related. I feel like we don't talk about him
this
enough.
is this isn't a good. This is not a good. Like, okay, the only thing I can do is if we're talking about Sinbad, I'm thinking of old school stuff like nostalgia. And I saw that Limp Bizkit's on tour right now, and I saw some videos, and they're doing this really weird thing because it's like all these parents now coming
Yeah.
out for like 90s nostalgia, and they all have kids. So Fred Durst, like he did this thing at every show. He's like, all the kids like under 10 or something, like anyone under 10, you can come sit up on stage. So then you have like them playing break stuff, and there's like 50 little kids there in like backwards, baseball caps and stuff. It's kind of hilarious.
I want to find a
Um,
picture of this and put it up on the screen.
yeah, especially when they're going pretty aggressive. It's very funny, dude.
Dude, I've
Um,
I've seen videos of Limp Bizkit where he's like dressed up like as a cowboy. He's got his shirt tucked in, jeans
yeah,
that were somewhat recent.
yeah. He wears costumes, and so does Wes Borland. They
Oh,
always
okay.
wear costumes.
That's
Except Wes Borland's costumes are kind of cool and creative and dark, mysterious, and Fred Durst just wears like a silly wig and like a Hawaiian shirt,
oh, okay.
and smokes a pipe. He's like being a goofball.
Yeah,
Um,
that's funny.
yeah, it was just a funny like thing to see like the juxtaposition of all these little kids looking up and then them being like, give me something to break, like it gets like hard.
Yeah.
Sinbad, Fred Durst, there was a loose segue there. um I I haven't really been watching the Olympics at all. I watched a little bit of surfing, but I did really dig the Gojira performance. Did you see that?
No, what is that?
I'll send it to you. Gojira is um like a French metal band, and
Oh,
they played this really cool like song at the opening ceremony at like the prison where Marie Antoinette was beheaded. And it's one of the coolest like mainstream things I've ever seen, like hardcore metal at the Olympics, but like in a really dark way, and they're like spraying like blood in the air. It's crazy,
jeez.
dude.
Wow.
It's intense. It's very ballsy that they did that. Gojira is a band that one of our old friends Dan got me into with a mixtape. So after I saw that, I immediately was like, oh, I'm gonna call him or text him or whatever. Say thanks for giving me a heads up on that band like 4 years ago, because that would have been. Yeah, I just thought it was I'll send you the link. Also, I have this other song I really want you to hear. I discovered a new band called, well, not a new band, but I recently discovered them, called Intervals, and they have a song called Nootropic, which I think you're gonna love, dude. It's challenging. It's very like positive and upbeat. Great riffage. Yeah,
Nice.
I'll send you both those links after this. Um, let's talk about the privatization of failed shorts.
So I know you wrote this as an idea, and now you can't remember, but was
I
it
don't know
about
what any of
us?
that
Was it
means.
about our failed shorts? I mean,
I,
we've had quite a few failed shorts. Some of them have been mildly good, but
I don't know. I feel like the way I worded it, I feel like it has more weight. Like it's not just about short videos that didn't get views. I feel like this has something to do. Maybe short sales. Um, maybe it's a typo.
could it be about the GameStop thing that you watched that movie?
I know, but I don't see how this
That
fits
was
into
about
that.
that
I
was
don't
about shorts, right? Shorting
dumb,
GameStop,
dumb money.
dumb money. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but I know you recently watched that.
Yeah, it doesn't line up though, because this is a note I made like 2 days ago, and I watched that probably a month ago. So I don't think that was fresh in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know what that means. How about this? Okay, so imagine you're a fighter, like a boxer. Okay,
Okay.
what is the song you enter?
Mm.
What's your intro music or song? Would it be like something hard, or would
Oh
it be
yeah,
something like, yeah?
it'd be something hard. Um, Prequel to the sequel would be cool. Between
This is gonna do something.
the I don't know, but yeah, it would be something heavy. It would be thick with two C's.
I think I would do something like really like maybe like Jonas Brothers Waffle House. I do that song that I'm obsessed with.
Oh, it'd be
You
like a
know?
poppy, more poppy
Yeah,
upbeat.
yeah. And it'd be like dancing and stuff. It kind of throws them off, you know. They'd be like, I'm gonna beat this guy, and then I surprise a few people.
Nice.
Do you know I just learned something about music as someone that's been playing for a long time? Bar chords, like bar chords are not BAR chords. It's BARRE chords. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
BARRE. I was like, I saw the word and in reference to something musical. It was like, oh, this is the type of bar chord, and I was like, oh, they misspelled it. That's silly.
What
And
is
then
what does it stand for? I thought.
I don't know. It might be a French term. It sounds kind of like French.
Yeah, because I
I don't know.
huh. I thought
But
bar
I
in
always
the
thought
chord
of it
was
like the
yeah.
shape of it. You make a bar,
Yeah, it's
kind
like
of.
it's like your index finger becomes a bar that walks it up the
Right.
neck. Bar the
Isn't that
chord.
weird to play guitar for such a long time and something simple like that? It's just like, wow. I guess it doesn't really matter, but okay. Here's something, dude. What are we doing on time right now?
We still have like 15 minutes.
Good. Okay. So I don't know if you saw this. Elon Musk
Oh, wait a second.
put out like a.
I'm sorry. 10
Huh.
minutes.
Okay. Elon Musk put out a like a Kamala fake ad on his X account. Um, and it's got a perfect AI voice of her saying silly stuff. Here's the thing. He's like, yeah, I mean, everyone's saying you can't do that. It's also kind of against your own terms of service.
Yeah.
He specifically, because someone was parodying him, but now he's completely changed his mind. He says, no, parody is legal in the United States. It's a version of free speech, I guess. But I disagree. I think he has a responsibility, especially as the guy that owns it,
Yeah.
to not put stuff out. I mean, it is very funny, the video, the thing she says. But I think and I don't really want to like say that we need to like change the rules for dumb people, but I do think there's probably some old people and dumb people who don't understand what that is. It's
Right.
that good and convincing, and it just seems like it should be his responsibility, like to be like, oh yeah, I mean, parody's fine, but maybe label it that,
Yeah.
maybe make that part of how it's
No,
I don't know.
I remember that, hearing about that, and I totally agree with what you're saying. Um,
Yeah,
it kind of lines up with that book, the Walter Isaacson book. Like, yeah,
yeah,
the when he summarizes like the book, it talks
mm-hmm.
about him being like, kind of I forget how he words it, but sort of like a
Mm-hmm.
man child.
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, he said he bought Twitter for free
Free
speech,
speech.
but that no, he didn't. He
I
bought it to
still
make
don't know why.
drama.
I still don't know why he did it because it's so much money. It doesn't make sense. Like, it's such a weird thing. But I guess that's what you do when you have
Billions of
all the money
dollars.
in the
Yeah.
world. You can just be like, yeah, I want to own a social network. Um, the yeah, I don't know. It is like I said. I think it is very funny and
But it's also hypocritical of what he
yeah, it is
originally was.
hypocritical of the policy he started with, and also like I just said, he should be more of a better example. I think for people.
Agreed.
The podcast goes pop, the podcast goes acoustic. I don't know what that means, but I wrote it down. Maybe those were ideas for the names of the episode or an idea for a segment. I don't know what it means. Um, um, I don't know, man. So many of my ideas are kind of dumb. I guess we could talk about Josh Shapiro,
Oh, the
governor of Pennsylvania. Yeah,
possible
I think
VP picks for.
I think it's actually confirmed now at this point because he had a full schedule and he cleared all the events and I think until Tuesday, which is when the announcement happens. So I think it's pretty much him.
Oh,
I mean,
I heard
I
I
kind
heard
of
she's
think
still
it's
doing interviews though with the
yeah. I
other
think
guys, Mark Kelly,
Andy Bashir is still on the table, and I guess Mark Kelly is as well.
Pete
Um,
Buttigieg. How do you say his name? Pete Buttigieg.
Buttigieg, yeah.
I
think
have a
he
hard time
is.
with his last name.
I don't think Mayor. I think Mayor Pete's just gonna have a cabinet position. But yeah, I don't know. I really thought that the best angle, like, if I was a political strategist, would be, okay, how do you go against Trump and Vance? It's Harris Whitmer. I thought that made the most sense. Two ladies against boys versus girls, and also the whole like the political violence thing. You have that on both sides now. Whitmer with the kidnapping plot, and then Trump with getting his ear shot. But no, she said she wanted to stay the governor, so
that's
I guess
not going to happen.
that was pretty much, yeah. But then Josh Shapiro made a lot of sense because her and Kamala and him are buddies.
I think it also does make sense where you have somebody that's like different from you. Like, not saying that this is necessarily right, but like if you want to get maybe have a male VP or something, and you're a woman, just to have more diversity for the people that would be like, I only vote for a man. Not that you necessarily want those voters, but you do want the votes.
Votes are important.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Well, I think it seems kind of likely it'll be him, and I did a bit of reading on him. I don't have a problem with him, and I really do. I mean, it's impossible to predict these things, of course, because it's like there's so much happening week to week, and we still haven't seen. I mean, we haven't really heard much from Kamala, except for she did that. They called it a rally, but it was a Megan Thee Stallion concert, essentially. Then there was the convention for black journalists, which she didn't show up to, which I thought was a very weird move. Trump showed up and she didn't. She's like, I'm sorry, something came up. I'm like, that's crazy. This was a home run for you, But the Trump video, that is hilarious. I mean, it is. Did you see that?
Wait, it's the Trump video? Tell me.
Trump at the convention for black journalists.
I feel like I heard about this, but remind me.
It's just the clip essentially is like him being like, when did she decide she was a black woman? She's always been an Indian woman,
Yeah. Okay, I did hear about this.
That clip is hilarious. The way he keeps saying, black woman, black person, he says it just like in this very silly way, and people are laughing because it's like it's kind of entertaining. It's just wild. He showed up and she didn't. Like, and also he's kind of using that like in a way. He's saying, well, she said she was going to be at this, and I thought we were going to like, get to both have some fair interviews at this thing, and she didn't show up. So I don't know if she's going to show up to the debate. So he's just using it like.
Right.
But yeah, that clip is one of my favorite Trump clips of all time.
I've only heard about it. But I should watch that clip if it's really funny.
It is really funny. I mean, it's so tone deaf. It's like it's the most Trump shit ever. It's like him all the way in.
Yeah.
It's like if there was ever a moment of thinking like, oh, the assassination attempt, maybe it softened him a little bit. No, he is leaning into like the glory days of his insane public appearances and moments. I love.
One argument for somebody else to be Kamala's VP, and I was actually thinking of Mayor Pete because he's been doing a lot of interviews. Have you noticed this? Like he's been being interviewed all over the place. Daily Show, Fox News.
Yeah, he's great. He's like really excellent on camera and mic.
But that's probably something you want as a VP. But like you said, it sounds like it's going to be this other guy, Shapiro.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. You said it was Ben Shapiro, right? I know you didn't say it.
It's Ben Carson. Listen to. The prisoner exchange video is pretty interesting. Did you see that?
I didn't see the video, but I heard that they finally got that. They did a prisoner exchange with that. When it was a Russian assassin. It was a bunch of people, right?
A lot. It's huge. It's the biggest one since like Cold War.
Yeah. Washington Post journalist that's been
Evan Paul. I don't know how to say his last name, but yeah.
I think it starts with a G.
I think is he Wall Street Journal? Evan G. From the Wall Street Journal.
Is it Wall Street Journal?
I think it might be. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, I guess I thought it was Washington Post. But
and Paul Whelan, the Marine, who was there for 2,000 days, over 2,000 days in
That's
Russian
crazy.
prison. Pretty insane. Um, I mean, yeah, thank you for your service, Paul Whelan, but he's got a very sketchy background. I think he was definitely an asset. I don't think he was just like caught up in something. He was probably doing something.
Yeah,
Such an odd,
you're right,
odd
by the
guy.
way. Wall Street Journal. It was.
Evan G. So yeah, but the video is so strange because you have on both sides, watching both sides of the video of these planes showing up at the Kremlin in the middle of the night, and Vladimir Putin's on the runway, like greeting everyone. There was like a sleeper cell family that was deeply embedded, and they were caught, and these kids had no idea. The parents were just like they're just raising them as Americans, speaking Spanish. No idea they were Russian. So they're like, where are we going? What's happening in the middle of the night? And they show up. The president of Russia's there, and he greets them in Spanish, like because they don't know how to speak Russian or
Yeah.
English. So that's such a scene. And then Kamala and Joe Biden are there on the other side in the middle of the night, and Joe's sleeping. He's standing, and he's like, I mean, it's actually really hard to watch. He doesn't just look okay. He looks confused. He does. The prisoners get off the plane, right? Now the plane's just parked there, and then he just walks over and he gets on the plane for no reason.
Oh my God.
And Kamala and the Secret Service just sit there stunned, looking at him
Like,
like,
where's he going?
why is he getting on? Is he going back to Russia? It's crazy, dude. But no, and then Kamala, she's being presidential, so she's the one speaking. He doesn't say anything except for he says the words "a while." I don't know why he said that. He's just sitting there and he goes "a while." It's like, but the thing that Kamala has like one of her worst, they call them like her word salad moments where she just says crazy things and repeats it. She has like one. It's her first thing in like a very big moment. First time for her to seem presidential, and she just kind of like I don't know. She choked.
She
She's
did the
not
same
good.
thing that she does normally, where she just
Always where she just like kind of repeating like, and time is about time because she does like that thing.
yeah.
On
I know.
like
I've heard it many times.
and
I'm like, what is she? Why is she just?
she did that at this moment, which was such a critical moment.
She should have had something
And she's
prepared.
trying also to like
Yeah.
she's trying to give Joe Biden some like the credit too. She's trying to like act like this is why we need a strong leader who understands diplomacy, and that's why diplomacy is important for leaders. You need diplomacy. She just keeps repeating a couple different variations of the same thing. It's weird. And once you're like, okay, you could stop there, and that's fine.
Yeah.
She like, I have to add more to it. I have to make this more impactful, but she doesn't do that well.
It's almost like you have to write a short essay or something, but there's a word requirement, and she only has like half of it, so she puts a bunch
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
gets a little circular.
She does exactly that.
Yeah.
It's a good way to put it. So that was a tough look. I was really sad for the president in that moment because he looked extremely confused. He looks really sick,
Yeah.
Like he
Was
doesn't.
was this
he
early
doesn't
in the
look
morning,
healthy.
right? That they did it, or late at night?
Yeah, it's dark. It's probably like in the middle of the night. So and
Wh-
it's one of those
why do
things
they
he has to.
why do
They
they do
both have to
that?
be there for it.
Why do they choose that
I
time?
don't
It's like,
know.
hey, what time should we do this? How about in the middle of the night? It's like,
I don't know.
I guess it's hard to when you're in on the other parts of the world. I guess coming up with a
But both sides, it just happened to be it's dark runway in the middle of the night with Putin and just an interesting thing. But yeah, I do really think it's valuable to free journalists.
Yeah, yeah, I'm glad they-
That's. I mean, of course, everyone too,
Yeah.
all Whelan included. But I'm just saying, like, for that one guy, that Evan G. I mean, there was no reason,
yeah. Wasn't he there?
you know-
Wasn't one of them, or I don't know if it was him or some other person. They were just at a wedding, like in Russia,
Oh, I don't.
and then that's
I don't
how they
know.
got kidnapped. Like, I mean, that was the only reason why he was there. He had like a friend or family that was getting married.
Um, I didn't know that.
I don't know which person it was. I just remember hearing about that on the news. But
Yeah, I don't think I'd be. I don't think I'd be showing up. I'd send a nice gift.
yeah,
You know.
there's a funny clip of Larry David talking about like destination weddings. Like, would you go? Like if they invite
Yeah.
you, they'd be like, no. It's like I forgot how he worded it, but he's like, no, I would. I just send him a gift. No, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
How far of a drive? Oh, it's a couple hours. No.
No.
He wouldn't even drive a few hours for like a friend.
It's so that's so Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me look at my notes here. See if there's anything else worth halfway saying.
Well, I actually think we're at a good time. I told you I was going to watch the time, and I kind of haven't. But
Okay.
we're actually at a good spot here.
Okay. Well, I don't really have anything else interesting here. I was gonna do a little PSA for In and Out. I'll end on this dumb thing I wrote down. Probably high. So I saw this video from the In and Out CEO saying you need to stop with the TikTok videos of secret menu hacks and stuff because those don't exist. It's actually slowing down business and makes it difficult for our employees and stuff. So I just want to do a PSA that animal style is real, okay?
Hmm.
And then vegetable style is also real, and mineral style is also real. You can get those three. All that other stuff, it's malarkey, in the words of our president. It's malarkey. Was that worth saying? You can probably clip that or cut that. No, clip that.
I'll do both.
I don't know why. I don't know why I conflated In and Out, the TikTok thing, and malarkey. But for some reason, they all went together in my head.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. We will see you next week.
Take care. Take care, everyone.
Take care of yourself.